Hello.
Hello there, I am Kyle Singer, and this is Mill Worker to Millionaire, where I will make a video every week until I am a millionaire. So guys, this is week one, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about where I'm coming from, where I'm starting, and where I am going. So I live in Indiana. I come from a lower middle class family. My dad worked on cars. We had food. We had a house. We didn't have anything more than that, okay? I didn't have a passport until I was 30. Um, Lower middle class. Dad was paycheck to paycheck. He worked hard. He made sure that his family ate. That is where the story ends. I do not have an uncle who has a business who helped me out. My dad taught me nothing about money. Everything I know, I learned from reading and watching successful people. So, where I'm starting now, I work at a steel mill, and that's a good job around here, guys. All right? College was not an option for me. I needed to make money. I wanted to be a chef. Honestly, that's what I wanted to be and do with my life. I've learned how to cook incredibly, but doing that professionally was not an option at the time. I got a job working in dirty old steel mills. Now, I started at crappy little steel mills that don't pay anything. I was making like $10 an hour when I started in the steel industry. Now I've worked my way up to making about $90,000 to $100,000 a year, and this is after 15 years of working in steel. Okay, I'm 34 years old. I've got an 11-year-old son. I have a newborn, beautiful baby girl who is 3 days old as I'm recording this, and I have the best asset ever, a beautiful, intelligent, loyal wife who supports me in everything. She doesn't even know I'm making this video. Whatever, she'll find out later. So that's my financial situation. I roughly make 6 figures a year, and you guys know 6 figures is not what we thought it would be when we were kids. Maybe you haven't made it there yet. Maybe you're making more and realizing, hey, we were lied to. But around here in Indiana, when I was a kid, basically everybody told us, oh, that family makes 6 figures. They make 100 grand. They have money. All right. Last year I made $100,000 or a little bit more, and I'm not rich yet. So guys, these videos are just going to be like my diary, telling you guys where I'm at, what I'm doing, the things I'm trying. Hopefully you guys can use this as motivation, and when I find something that is working, you guys can apply it to your journey too. So tell me in the comments where you are in your journey. So I'm going to tell you guys about my assets, the things I have, how I make extra money. I'm going to be completely transparent. I'm going to share everything because this is a journey. I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to share, because one thing I know, you do not make money without adding value. So I'm going to try my best to add some value to your journey. And hey, add some value to mine in the comments, okay? If you just learned something awesome this week, tell me, because hey, that might help me. Maybe what you learned can help me, and what I learned can help you. So let's share some mutual value. All right, let's talk about some of my assets. I have a good job with awesome health insurance. I don't pay any health insurance. I make about $92,000 from that, more or less, because I do not work overtime. So let's just say $90,000 a year at my job. But it feels like more than it might to a lot of people because I do not pay for my health insurance. Other assets. Maybe you guys are thinking, hey, for a mill worker, this guy seems pretty confident in front of the camera. Well, the reason for that is I also have a successful other YouTube channel. All right, boom. So I'm not starting this journey, guys. I'm starting to catalog it here, but I'm already years in. All right, Took me 4 years to build my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel, enough to get this. And as of today, I have 295,000 subscribers at that channel. Okay, and my YouTube channel is called Pensando Inglés. And if you happen to speak Spanish, you'll know that that means thinking English. All right, I teach people all around the world English. And I guess I've been pretty successful at that. So my YouTube channel is a huge asset. And from ads, the ad revenue alone, I can make anywhere from, on a slow month, could be $500. On a good month, it could be up to $2,000. I average around $1,000 a month from that. Another awesome asset is my YouTube channel gives me tax benefits. Okay, I could write off this camera I'm using. I use a super awesome Sony camera, Sony ZV-E1. Check it out if you're looking for a good camera. I wrote off these microphones, okay? I can write off trips if I film and use that trip as a business trip. I just met up with a really big YouTuber who's got almost 1 million subscribers the other day, and I could write off my hotel, my parking, because it was a business meeting. So my YouTube channel generates income, saves me taxes, but the biggest asset there is an audience. And I'm sorry I talk with my hands, guys. When I'm on my other YouTube channel, I'm explaining things super slow for English learners, so it's hard for me to sit in front of a camera and speak in my natural English. I'm very fluent in Spanish as well, so language learning is a huge asset for me, by the way. And I highly recommend language learning, especially for you guys who are trying to be successful. It's been one of the best things I've ever done. But my audience, I've got almost 300,000 people to pitch products to, and for years I've been focused on building subscribers, and I have not been selling to these subscribers. So that's something new I'm getting into, and that's something we'll be talking about here. As of right now, I have 2 products that I am pitching to my audience, and it starts very slow, guys. It starts very slow. So I created something I call the Native English Starter Kit, where I break down the things that native speakers say that they did not teach you in textbooks, and I promote that in my videos. So far, I've sold like 15 of them, but guys, that is proof of concept. It means I have something that people are willing to buy. They're $20 a piece. I've made like 300 bucks. But creating that product has given me something invaluable, something, wow, that I'll use for the rest of my life. I learned how to make a product. I learned how to package a product. I learned how to sell a product, and I sold it. And guys, this is not something that I made once. It made me $300 and that's it. I made it once, and now people will be buying it for as long as they watch my videos, which I hope will be a long, long time. So I've got that product that I promote. Another one, I'm working closely with another super awesome language YouTuber, my boy in Vietnam, Jay, and another really cool guy I met who does the tech stuff for their website, which is called Sprout Languages. I have an AI version of me on there, and if people spend $10 a month, they can speak and practice their English with me. And I've been super consistent on my YouTube channel, so I've got some hardcore fans over there, guys. Some hardcore fans that really want to speak with me. So every person that signs up for that, I get $2.50 a month. That's my share of that $10, because they have to pay all the overhead and stuff. And it's not cheap to pay for the AI voice speaking. So I get $2.50, which is half of the profit that those guys make. So it doesn't sound like much, but today I got a payment of $86, and I barely even promote that, guys. But what I really built is a connection with another super solid YouTuber, a friendship, and a business connection with his tech guy, who I think has some pretty good money, guys. So the other day I went and spoke with him, and basically what I'm doing right now, guys, I'm building income streams. So I've got my products, and even though it starts slow, it's a drip, and I have several income streams, okay? When I started this journey years ago, I had my job and that was it. But the most important thing, now I'm sitting down at tables with people that are making big money. I'm making connections. I've got a couple of millionaires in my WhatsApp that I can message. So just having these people that are making money that I can talk to and speak with elevates me and allows me to have the confidence that I'm going there too, because hey, now I've earned my spot at the table, and that confidence and just knowing that I'm gonna get there eventually if I keep on going is why I'm confident to do this. And I don't care, guys. Honestly, I do not care if I have to make 200 of these videos, 200 weeks. So I don't care if it takes me a few years or something big happens and next month I'm good. Because, like I said, it took me 4 years to get this goal. So I have learned to be patient with my goals. I make up my mind. I'm quick to make up my mind and very slow to change it. So my net worth right now is like negative $200,000 or something like that, okay? And that's because this house I'm sitting in, I've got a mortgage. So I owe like $230,000 on this house. I have no other debt. I have a 401k, which I don't care about, that has like $30,000 in it. And why I don't care about my 401k, sure, it's cool that it could sit there and grow, and I put like 3% into it every paycheck, but I'm trying to make cash flow for now. I'm not trying to wait until I'm 65. So everything I'm trying to do is to become financially free by the time I'm like 40 at the latest. I'm 34, gonna be 35 in a month. So I've got a 401k. I also have a personal Charles Schwab account outside of my 401k, and I'm working on that too. I know it's not beneficial tax-wise, but if I could build up some assets there, that could pay me now before I'm an old man. So I've got like 4,900 in there, but you guys know that stuff goes up and down. I'm invested mainly in S&P 500. I've got a little bit of SCHD, which is a dividend-paying fund that also grows. I've got a little bit of Tesla. I've got a little bit of Johnson & Johnson, even though I hate Big Pharma. And a couple other little things, Google, because I figured I need to invest in YouTube. I've got Amazon, a couple of little things, guys. But it's growing, and I'm trying not to touch that, just to show you guys that I'm not some guy that already has money. I know some of you are in a way worse spot than this. I've got like $2,000 in my checking account, okay? I have no emergency fund because my stupid Jeep has been giving me problem after problem, and I've had to spend like $8,000 on it in the last year to keep it running and keep me going to work. I had a little emergency fund, $7,000, $8,000 that I worked hard to save up. Now I don't have that. So my emergency fund is the stocks. Worst comes to worst, I've got to cash those bad boys out. I'm trying everything I can not to do that, all right? My take-home pay can be between $2,000 and $2,700 every 2 weeks. And then, like I said, once a month, I get my YouTube direct deposit for usually around $1,700 to $1,200. Like I said, I've got my other things that are starting to trickle in now, and that's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. Now that you guys know who I am, what I do, where I'm at, what I'm going to do going forward, every week I'm just going to sit down in front of this camera and give an update, talk about the things I'm trying new, things I'm learning, books I'm reading, and then, Is anybody even watching me yet? Maybe not. But like I said, I'm patient with my plans. So if somebody actually ends up watching this, guys, use this as your diary too. Tell me how you're doing, where you're going, what are you trying, what has worked, what has not worked. And let's just bounce some ideas off each other. Let's try and build this into a community of people who started with a normal family or started with nothing. You know, there's people way worse off than me. There's people way better off. Tell me, where are you coming from? Where are you at? Where are you going? I know where I'm going. So let me just say this week's book, all right? Reading has changed my life, guys. I read all the time. Right now I've got a newborn baby I haven't read in 4 days. Oh! But when we're in the car, I'm listening. I'm listening to Jim Rohn. I'm listening to The Gap and the Gain is an audio book I'm listening to right now by Dan Sullivan and Something Hardy. That's a super good book. But the book that I'm reading right now is The Power of Broke by Damon John. This guy's kind of a douchebag, to be honest, but he started from a single mother household, young black dude in New York, didn't have much. He made FUBU, which maybe the younger guys have no idea what that even is. It means for us, by us. It was a clothing line this guy made for black Americans in the early 90s, I think he started. And you probably had no idea about that if you're under 30, but you have seen that face on Shark Tank, I'm sure. And that's where most people know him from now, but I can remember the white kids walking around in FUBU looking silly back in the 90s. But this book is awesome, guys. He talks to super cool people who started from nothing. The guy who started Under Armour, other entrepreneurs who did cupcakes, somebody from the Shark Tank, and somebody who I really like, Rob Dyrdek. He interviewed him. And basically, guys, this book is talking about how starting from nothing can actually be an advantage for several reasons, because there is no way that a trust fund baby will ever be as hungry as you or I, because we had to work for our food. And we know how it feels to be broke, so we know that we would rather die than give up. Or is that just me? You agree with that? If you agree with that, you're my kind of person. You're in the right place. What book are you reading? See you next week.